Hassan was the kind of person people noticed. Not because he demanded attention, but because he seemed to bring a little light with him wherever he went. He was bright, energetic, caring, and thoughtful. At work, he was the first person to offer help when someone was struggling with a task. He remembered birthdays. He asked people how their families were doing and actually listened to the answers. He could turn an ordinary lunch break into a conversation that left everyone laughing. If you only knew Hassan at work, you would have thought he was doing just fine. I thought so too. We were co-workers, but somewhere along the way, we became friends. I knew the version of Hassan he allowed everyone to see. I didn't know about the other version. The quiet one. The frightened one. The exhausted one. The one who went home every night carrying a weight he never talked about. It started with a stain. One afternoon, Hassan returned from lunch and walked past me on his way back to his station. Something caught my attention on the sleeve of his uniform. A small reddish stain. "Hassan," I said, pointing toward his sleeve. "What happened?" He looked down. For half a second, something changed in his face. Then it was gone. "Oh, this?" he said casually. "I must have brushed against something." He smiled. I smiled back. "Are you okay?" "Yeah. I'm fine." He said it so easily that I almost believed him. So I let it go. I wish I hadn't. Over the following weeks, I began noticing things. Another stain. Then another. Sometimes on his sleeve. Sometimes somewhere else on his clothing. The explanations changed. He had cut himself on something. He had bumped into something. He wasn't paying attention. It was nothing. Always nothing. But there was something unsettling about the way he said that word. Nothing. As though he was begging the world to accept it. One day, another coworker and I were talking after our shift. "You've noticed it too, haven't you?" they asked. I knew immediately what they meant. The stains? They nodded. Then they told me what I didn't want to hear. "Hassan is hurting himself." For a moment, I didn't know what to say. The cheerful person I knew suddenly seemed like someone I had never met. All those smiles. All those jokes. All those times he had asked whether everyone else was okay. And nobody had thought to ask whether he was okay. Really okay. I decided I couldn't simply pretend I hadn't heard. The next time we were alone, I sat with him. I didn't accuse him. I didn't demand an explanation. I didn't tell him to just stop. I simply told him I cared. At first, he wouldn't look at me. Then he finally spoke. "It's complicated. I know. You don't." He wasn't angry when he said it. He sounded tired. So tired. Eventually, pieces of the truth began to come out. His father. His home. The constant criticism. Nothing Hassan did ever seemed good enough. If he made a mistake, he heard about it. If he succeeded, it was never enough. If he tried to explain himself, he was accused of making excuses. His father was stern, controlling, and overbearing. His words followed Hassan long after the arguments ended. Sometimes, Hassan said, the shouting stopped but continued inside his head. And when the pressure became too much, he turned that pain inward. He didn't know how to make the hurt disappear. So he tried to make it smaller. I told him he didn't have to carry it alone. I told him he needed help. Real help. A counselor. A trusted family member. A professional. Anyone who could help him find a safer way through what he was experiencing. He promised he would try. For a while, things seemed better. The stains disappeared. Hassan laughed more. He seemed lighter. I allowed myself to believe that maybe we had reached the end of the nightmare. But pain doesn't always leave because someone promises it will. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it hides. Sometimes it comes back when nobody is looking. The stains returned. Then they became harder to ignore. There was one day in particular that I will never forget. Hassan came back from lunch looking different. Pale. Distant. One of his injuries was severe enough that it was obvious something was seriously wrong. This time, there was no excuse. No casual smile. No, I'm fine. There was only fear. We got him help. But even then, I realized something terrifying. I couldn't save Hassan by myself. None of us could. His pain was bigger than a coworker's kindness. Bigger than a friend's promises. Bigger than pretending everything was normal. He needed people who understood what he was going through. He needed support. He needed professional help. Most of all, he needed to believe that his suffering was something he was allowed to talk about. Because Hassan had spent so long hiding his pain that hiding had become part of the pain itself. And then came the day I received the call. Hassan was gone. He had cut himself away from the world he had been trying so desperately to survive. The news didn't feel real. I kept thinking about the first stain. That tiny warning. That moment when he looked at his sleeve and then looked at me. I kept thinking about every time he said, "I'm fine." And I kept wondering how many people had heard those words from him and accepted them because they were easier to believe. I thought about how Hassan had spent so much of his life trying to make everyone else feel okay. And how few people had realized that the person making everyone laugh was quietly falling apart. What happened to my friend Hassan left an emptiness that never completely went away. But it also left a lesson. A painful one. A necessary one. If you are hurting yourself, please understand this. You are not beyond help. What you are feeling may be overwhelming. It may feel permanent. You may believe that nobody could understand, or that you have to hide what you're going through. But you don't. You don't have to suffer in silence. Tell someone. A friend. A parent. A teacher. A coworker. A counselor. A doctor. A therapist. A crisis service. Anyone safe who can help you take the next step. You don't have to know exactly what to say. You can simply say, "I'm not okay, and I'm afraid of what I might do to myself." That is enough to begin. And if you are the person who notices the stain, the withdrawal, the sudden changes, the unexplained injuries, or the person who keeps saying they're fine when something clearly isn't right, don't automatically look away. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to become their therapist. You don't have to fix their entire life. But you can ask. You can listen. You can encourage them to get professional help. You can stay with them when they're in immediate danger and help connect them with emergency or crisis support. Sometimes, simply knowing that someone sees you can be the first crack in the wall you've built around your pain. Hassan had spent years trying to cut away the parts of himself that hurt. But the truth was, those parts didn't need to be cut away. They needed to be heard. They needed compassion. They needed help. And maybe that's the part of Hassan's story that should stay with us. Not the stains. Not the scars. Not the tragedy. But the warning. Don't wait until someone disappears to tell them that their life matters. And if you are the one disappearing inside your own pain, please don't cut yourself away from the world. Reach for someone. There is still a hand that can reach back.